Hello, this is Beta Ray Ben for Pixel Spank, and today I'm doing a mega build. This is the Star Wars Millennium Falcon Ultimate Collector Series, the largest Lego set available. I'm going to do bag one, which is these 6-ish bags, if I've got it counted correctly. The bags are very loud. You know this, obviously. Because I'm not a savage, I'm already preparing a method of disposing of the plastic before it becomes an issue. Invariably, it will mean that I'll lose bits as well. There is a whole bag of these little black plastic things. That's how substantial this is. I'm thinking, are these all for this set, or is it the totality? Bag of little separators. Entirely beige section. That's going to be exciting. Accent pieces go over there. There does seem to be a certain amount of order to what sort of come out of what bag. Right, let's start with not page one, obviously. I'm not prepared for the size of this manual. It's actually taking up more room than I've allowed for. Okay, step one is nothing exciting. It's building a framework. It's not exciting, but it is important. Okay. I'm fully prepared to lose a good amount of my fingertips, as is customary with these things. What does this symbol mean? Does it just mean push it in? It's actually been a little while since I've built any Lego, and I've slightly forgotten, not how, but the sort of the art of it. So that looks that way. Yep, it lines up. Square, boom, first two pieces together. Actually, looking at this, it's going to be a while before there's any like proper Lego on Lego action. It's all this sort of stud work at the minute. In there, oh Christ! I've made an error. This is the wrong grey piece. I put the wrong grey bit on there. It should be. Nope, they're the same. Hang on. Well, the red bit's right. The grey bit wants to be roughly twice as long as... Yeah. And it's also not even this colour. It's dark grey, what I'm looking for. It should be immediately apparent because it's really... It's not black, is it? No, it's definitely not black. It's about this length. But grey. Like dark grey, not light grey. I'm 90% certain it doesn't exist, and they've shortchanged me, and it's not in the set. There's a slim chance that I'm missing a bag. No, this feels about right. It's probably just in here somewhere, and I'm not seeing it. Would be my thinking. 3, 6, 9. 3, 6. Maybe I was right. No, I can't be right. So this 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the red bit is definitely 100% correct. Oh, I've just seen this. The red bit is definitely correct. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, no. Yeah, so it's roughly twice the length. I mean, the black bit is correct, but it's definitely not black. I can say that with 100% certainty. Oh, there's a separate bag. It does say at the first instruction requires bag 1, which is all of this, plus a mere, not those, this aside, 26 of these. An easily missed bit of info. Is there 26 in here? 3, 6, definitely not. 9, 13. And there's another bag, so Jesus. It requires all of these as well. Just put them there. That's see, straight away, the whole numbered bag thing has become useless. Right, so this goes in line with this, so like that. Good. Back in order. Have I got any mysterious tales for today? Possibly. Sure, they'll come to me. Saw a lot of movies recently. Saw Ready Player One. That was genuinely fantastic. Does that go right through or? No, there should be more pieces in here. I've messed up somehow. Oh, I know, I've messed up. When I put this on the wrong grey piece and detached it, it took a lot of the studs that I'd already put in with it. So I didn't realise my own error. Yeah, so Ready Player One. Bloody brilliant film it was. How does this fit now? Idiot. Right. 4 studs, yeah. Yeah, highly recommend seeing that. It didn't look very good in the trailers, to be honest. It looked sort of generic to me, weirdly. But then when I actually saw it, it was a lot of fun. All the stuff in the Oasis was just great to watch. Made me think I might get the old Vive out when I get back, have a bit of fun with that. I didn't, obviously. Way too lazy for that. Right, is that all the pieces now? Okay, 2 steps done. Yeah, we're getting there. One of them on next. Oh no, it's another long grey. Attaches on there via those 2. Good. Put 2 on here. A space of 3. Perfect. Yeah, Ready Player One. That was good. Let's see. Saw Peter Rabbit. My mum wanted to see it, so I thought, yeah, fine, I'll take her to see it. Actually, pretty good, to be honest. A lot of fun. I like James Corden. A lot of people don't, which I can't understand. I like him, always have. Gavin and Stacey, hilarious. As his sitcom, well, it's sort of the second thing he was really in. League of Their Own, it's a great panel show. Don't watch any of his American stuff because it's not on over here. Weirdly enough, they should show it really, given that people like him and most of his guests are at least internationally famous. But what do I know? It's probably a licensing thing. I know they show the Carpool Karaoke on Sky One sometimes. Alright, so now these attach thusly? No, wait. So is that like that? This is oddly difficult to follow for some reason. I think this is correct. I'm not really sure. It doesn't feel. I feel like I need to look at the next step, and yet I'm not. I will assume I'm correct, as I do in all walks of life. Right, okay. Yeah, that's what I'm at so far. Yeah, Peter Rabbit was pretty good. I saw Isle of Dogs, or I Love Dogs, if you say it fast enough. That was stunningly good. It was really fantastic. Just a treat to watch, for me at least. What made it an even better experience was it was kind of marketed as a kids' film to a certain... Well, not really a kids' film, but it is animated. And it was on during like the Easter holidays for us. So in the screening I was in, there was maybe 20 people, but like there was probably about 5 kids, like, you know, with their parents. And just throughout the whole film, like in the intro sequence where a lot of it's in Japanese with subtitles and just stuff like that, I was thinking, you parents have made a terrible error. It's not really a kids. Well, I don't think it was really a kids film. It was probably kind of a bit hard for them to follow, and there was a lot of references to death and euthanasia, and suicide. Weirdly, a lot of like heady concepts, and I was just looking at it from a ratings board point of view, where like they'd been rating it, and they're like, well, there's nothing actually bad in this, but it's not really a kids' film, but that doesn't mean we're going to rate it as such. I've taken a risk in that I haven't really been paying attention, and I've sort of been going just on the pictures, but I think I'm doing it correctly, which always leads to my downfall, invariably. Double up. Good. That was it on the film front. Although I have got something quite good lined up. I walked in the other day, and my dad, who's only recently discovered YouTube as a phenomenon, he mostly just watches music on it. The way he'll find music is he'll type in like a song he likes, normally from the 80s, normally weirdly depressing, and then he'll just sort of go on the suggested videos from there, you know, like the classic YouTube hole, if you will, which is fine. It's a fine way to view the platform. But I walked in the other day, and he was watching a music video, but the video was just scenes from a film. And I walked in and said, "What are you watching?" And he goes, "I don't know," because the title was in, I think, Spanish. And I looked at the film, and I was like, "I know this film," and it was From Dusk Till Dawn, which I haven't actually seen, but I know the rough plot to, and the big hook. Which, if you're aware of Dusk Till Dawn, you know what it is. But if you're not, if you haven't, I think it's vampires appear sort of halfway through out of nowhere, and he's not aware of this, and I made him stop the video, and he said, well, find me this because I want to watch this film, and so I've got that experience coming up. Is him having never seen this film. It will start off as like a gangster film or whatever. Then midway through it will change to a vampire film, or is it zombies, or I think it's vampires. And it's something I greatly look forward to. So that's one section done now. It's saying start over with one of these. And about 50 of these. So I've got that little bit of excitement coming up. Perfect. That's good. I'm falling back into Civ territory. Civ 6 specifically. I waver between 5 and 6 depending on sort of what I want. I think I've done this wrong. Maybe not. Or maybe I have. Is it like that? Where should the things come through? 3 and then 1. So Yep, that way. The instructions aren't super clear on just a few places. A blue one. First blue of the game. That going in there. Yep, stud that. I don't know if this would actually really make for particularly enjoyable content. Well, no, I do know that it won't be enjoyable, but I feel I'm going to do it anyway, just to catalogue the building process. It's also very, it's basically like therapy at this point, isn't it? It's good for my soul. Not yours. I don't care about yours. This channel's just for me. My own nonsense. Plus, I feel if in the event of my death and I leave cryptic clues as to how to gain my fortune, someone will have to watch this video, which, in all honesty, is part of my goal in life, is to leave a series of cryptic clues. I have genuinely joked that I have a nephew now. I'm not very well. I'm not overly involved with him. I see him a lot, but he's only 2. I should preface this. He's only 2, and I kind of joke that I'm going to entirely disappear from his life in a few years, and then just leave a load of riddles, fake my own death, make him spend the night in a haunted mansion to earn my fortune, and then he'll discover the true prize all along was, I don't know, a chocolate factory. I haven't thought about the specifics of it, but I'm almost willing to make it my life's work. I'm all about tremendous amount of work for little to no payoff. The dumber the joke, the more willing I am to put excessive quantities of work into it. I've said it before, I'll say it again. There's always a huge risk when it has you build essentially the same thing twice in a row that you'll get complacent on the second one and mess it up. Or you'll end up accidentally building a mirrored version or a non-mirrored version of the thing. Yep, already done that wrong. Nearly done on this bit now. My favourite bit is when you build these larger individual structures and you get to put them together, and then ideally put a load of these big flat ones on top, and it's like, oh, it's suddenly a thing. It's a sturdy platform on which to build your masterpiece. Oh, hello. It's calling for a spanner. Where am I going to find the spanner? By spanner, I don't mean like a wrench, like a metal tool. I mean there's a little plastic piece that I call a spanner, because it is a spanner shape. And to be honest, in a lot of sets they just use it as a spanner to give a mini fig, but oftentimes it's also used to hold things together. It's small. It's very small is what it is. Ah, here we are. See? Spanner. Can you see that? Obviously not, you can't, but trust me on this one, it's a spanner. And it goes in a small yellow stud. I should have made more space before I started. This much is clear to me now. I'm not going to do anything about that. As I continue on, I'll gain all of this space to work with eventually. And obviously the entropy will decrease massively when I get all this going. So that goes in the center of there, and then the spanner goes in there. What the spanner does, it gives you a thing that can turn, that can hold a pole, which is very useful. Wait, hang on. Oh, the assembly, boom, goes straight on top. Wouldn't have guessed that. Oh, that's satisfying. Oh yeah. I mean, there's no click when it goes together, obviously, but there's a firm pushing action. Look at that. That's a hammer, if ever I saw one. That would actually be a joke from a Lego film, wouldn't it? That they do all that work to build that, and then it's just a spanner to just like open a door. There's a radiator down there. It just started to whistle in a horrifying fashion that makes you think you've got tinnitus. That's actually a big part of my day is wondering whether or not I have tinnitus. I think I might, but I think at the same time, because I live around lots of machinery and stuff, there's often just high-pitched noises going on. It's a living nightmare, honestly. It drives me mad. 3, 6, 7, 8. 3, 6, 7, 8. No, that's too long, but I think it's the right size for this one. 3, 6, 9, 12, 3, 6, 9. Yeah, okay, so that's right. And I need a smaller one for here. Perfect. And that goes on like that. All right, where are we at now? Some of these. Oh, look, we're actually getting to Lego-ish pieces now. Ish. They're not bricks, are they? You'd never call them bricks. I do wonder how much of the actual design of this is, as they're building it, they think we've asked them to do too much not that Lego-y stuff in a row now early on. We've got to, you know, we've got to just throw some nonsense in there that would make more sense to do later, but otherwise the flow of the set feels wrong. Or am I thinking too much into it? It's a very engineer-based thing, Lego, isn't it? So there's probably not a lot of psychology in there. A brown piece, that is new. Shit the bed. I've got a really disgusting story to tell, but I almost don't want to tell it because it is so foul. I won't. Yeah, I'll save you from that horror. You may eat one day in the next few weeks. I'm getting a powerful thirst though. It was just water. No, I'm not some nutcase that drinks tonic water or soda water on its own. Is that right? I haven't really looked. Oh, excitement. So this now attaches to this somehow. I think it just attaches like on these two bits. Obviously, more construction is going to go on to secure that, but well, not yet. Apparently, not yet. I'll just leave this over here for now. All right, I think I'm building what I just built again. Is what appears to be occurring. 2 of these in here. I've been watching more anime recently. Well, is it more? I've been watching anime recently. It happens every now and again. I made the huge error of, I think it was back in October-ish sort of time, I caught up with One Piece, a pirate-based anime, if you're not familiar, or it's manga as well. It's like the biggest one in Japan. It's not that big anywhere other than Japan, but it's huge in Japan. It's been going on for at least 10 years now, as far as I'm aware. With little signs of stopping, to be honest. It's a fantastic tale if you fancy catching up. Not easy to do, as you can imagine. It's been going on 10 years, and it comes out weekly. So it's not like it's been on 10 years, but that's only 10 seasons. It's 10 goddamn years. So I try. What I do is I don't watch for like 6 months to a year at a time. then I catch up when like a complete arc has come out. So I did that last October-ish, and all was well. And then I got the horn for more, and I made the mistake of watching the anime right up to like to day and date, to the point where the most recent episode I was able to watch, it was on hiatus for 2 weeks after that instead of being on like the next week, and it nearly killed me. And so come yesterday, I was just sat at my desk with not a lot to do. I suddenly thought, maybe I should read the manga, because the manga's, say, 6 months ahead of the anime, roughly. And it was... which it's a risky thing to do, because once you do that, it means next time I come to watch the anime, I'll know everything that's going to happen anyway, which slightly ruins the experience. And I prefer anime to manga, as a rule. I'm not good at pacing myself when it comes to watching, to reading anime. I'll binge through it, to reading manga, sorry, I'll binge through it way too quickly. What am I doing? I need a grey piece, but it doesn't seem to exist. Here it is. It does exist, I was incorrect. Is that right? Yep, that's right. The instructions were unnecessarily detailed about putting this brown and this grey onto here. I feel like it must be easy to mess up because of that. Right, so now this goes on the bottom of, no, goes on the top of this, such that, like that. Yep, that is literally the only way it could have gone. I don't know why I made that such hard work. Right, there are now four things holding this together, so that's twice as strong. Still not that strong, it will come apart. I'm guessing we're going to build this again on this side now, is what this is amounting to. Right, one of these greys, one of these, no, I need a little blue. Definitely going to pay more attention when I open the bags next time and put them in more deliberate places. See, normally there's only one bag of small things. This had about 4, and that threw me off. I wasn't prepared for that. Damn it. My left hand is just... It's my left index finger was injured. As I put that, that's the wrong way. It's just totally wrong. My left index finger was injured as a child. It's not a serious injury. I can still use it. But there are 2 issues. One, the skin and flesh under the bone is at the wrong angle. It's very hard to describe. It sounds like nothing. It adds only a minor inconvenience, but it is there. So like the soft bit you have just there on your finger, that you like, you know, where your finger, if you were going to do your fingerprint, that's where it is. On this finger, mine's at an angle. It's twisted wrong. The bone isn't twisted, really. Mainly the flesh. I deal with that. I learn. I'm all right. It makes it very hard to use a keyboard with just that finger, mind, not the whole hand. But you know, I adapt. I grow used to it. The main issue is the fingernail. It grows in like a claw, like Bram Stoker's vacuum. Dracula, that's what I actually meant to say. Bram Stoker's vacuum. It was ahead of its time. Not that scary. I'm looking for just a flat grey. There it is. I don't like the fact that I haven't even touched a beige piece yet. And it said I would need 26 of these. Actually, that's the bit that really scares me. I'm going to turn a page in a minute. It's going to say, yes, times 10 of whatever you've just done. Right, a long light grey. That's one of you, I suspect. Oh wait, no, I have used beige, haven't I? Yeah, idiot. I've used 2 of them. Yeah, so the nail, it grows in like a claw, sort of hooked at an odd angle. It's fine. It's just if I cut it, like trim it, if I trim it to like a normal length male nail, you know, not excessive, but not like trimmed super short, it feels like how when you cut off your nail way too thin and every time you grab something it's like the flesh is exposed. It feels just like that. Some part of the way they regrafted it on gave me that superpower, if you will. It's fine, I just leave it a bit longer. It doesn't cause any issues, except every now and again someone will see it and say, oh, trim your nails. I'm like, I can't. It's technically a disability, you prick. I mean, I never go that far. I normally just slash them with it. You know, what you do is you take a 50p piece or a quarter or any other good sized coin. You tape 2 Stanley knife or box cutter blades to it and slash them across the thigh. Because of the distance between the wounds, they never really heal correctly. There you go. That's a little bit of fun for you. Bit of Martha Stewart style violence. That's in no way a reference to that time she was in prison. It's merely a reference to the idea of sort of making your own weapon. It's actually a joke I stole from a Mitchell and Webb sitcom, sketch show. These 2 pieces won't go together. Go, you bastards. Oh, they're not coming apart in a hurry. I hope I got them right. Pretty sure I did. So that goes on like that. And 2 greys to go on there. Right. Now this goes on like so. It's not entirely symmetrical. There are some subtle differences that are obvious to me and no one else at this interval. Holy hell. I initially said that I was going to do 1 video per bag. I may now backtrack on that massively for a number of reasons. 1, each bag is much larger than I thought it would be. And 2, no, that's really the only reason. I'll see. I'll think about it. I'll see how I feel. See how I feel. Of course, the only trouble is if I don't do that, I've got to build the whole damn thing and then get it out of the way. Otherwise, I can't use this table again. I like using this table. It's the cleanest corner of the room by far. I'm looking for a flat grey. I found it over here last time, so logically, yep, there's another one over there. Perfect. Never did say what anime I was actually watching. No, I watched all of One Piece up to date. That was good. Very emotional. Very clever as well. It was a lot. The bit I'm at is was the whole Cake Island, if you're familiar, in which you learn a lot of aspects of Sanji's backstory, or Sanji, as some people call him. And you realise that in like, how many episodes? 500-600 episodes? A lot of episodes. I want to say 600. I think it's 900 manga chapters. They've never really mentioned his backstory, but at no point have you thought, oh, I wonder what his backstory is. And then when they point out some stuff about him, you're like, oh yes, this is all quite weird actually. Very, very impressive to sort of keep a mystery like that unanswered, but even unquestioned. But when you go back, it's like, oh yeah, clearly the question was there. Such a clever bastard. The bloke who wrote it. I then watched Ruby from Rooster Teeth. It's good. I like that show. It's not one to watch. I was fortunate in that I hadn't watched volumes 4 and 5 of it, and I stopped. I started watching volume 4. I think I watched about 3 episodes, but I hadn't watched any of the previous stuff since it had come out, and I was like, I can't remember a damn thing about who anyone is. So I stopped. I meant to rewatch all of it, and I didn't for whatever reason. Volume 4 completely finished. Then Volume 5 had finished before I knew it. I was like, I think now is the time. So I watched the first 3 volumes again, the first 2 of which don't really count because they're like 4 minutes long. Yeah. Then I watched through 4 and 5 as well. Good. It's very good. Bloody annoying now. I have to wait a whole year like everyone else to get... What am I doing? I've already put that piece in. Yeah, this is fine. This is done. I can attach it to the rest now. Shit. That went on the bottom, didn't it? Yeah. Alright, that's not playing ball today. I've also, in the midst of all of that, been rewatching 30 Rock, which I've had an odd experience with over the years. 30 Rock. When I first saw it on TV and watched an episode or 2, I hated it. I genuinely couldn't stand it. I don't think I didn't get it. I think it was the trouble, and I was slightly too young for it. I think. Then I don't know, a year or so ago, I binge watched the whole series. Yeah, one whole season, that was enough. And then decided that actually, yes, it's very good. There's a couple bits in it that I struggle with. Couldn't get through any of the live episodes. I might watch them on this current rewatch I'm doing. But Alec Baldwin he's just fantastic in it. And you also get to play one of my favourite games of Is Liz Lemon Hot? Which is a very specific type of game to play. It's not Is Tina Fey hot? It's Is Liz Lemon hot? Which is a whole different kettle of fish. Right, so that's those 2. There's some little flat bits up here for Flourish. These aren't flats at all. There we are. I was looking in the wrong colour altogether. It's actually quite a fun game to pick. Pick any sitcom, ideally. Longer running, the better. Pick a female character in that sitcom, and you have to decide, is that character hot? Good examples of this include Liz Lemon in that. The bird from Always Sunny, that's another good one. Caitlin Olsen, I think that's her name. Obviously, it's in the show, you have to do it. That's it, Dee Reynolds. I picked up 2 pieces to put on here. Got distracted by another. Did I just throw them away while I was looking? That's awful. Is Dee Reynolds hot? It's debatable. Sometimes she is. Oftentimes she isn't. She's a scumbag. There's an odd wedge piece showing up here that terrifies me. I think it's just it is just the angle. Upon turning it to view it at the same angle, it does appear like a wedge, but is in fact flat. That has just unclenched me to a certain degree. Amy Poehler in Parks and Rec. What's her name in that? Leslie Knope, that's it. I knew it would come to me. Is she hot? That's a fun one to play. She's on skates in an episode. That's a big yes, isn't it? Is that all the pieces I'm supposed to be adding here? Yes. Oh, there's the fuckers. I didn't throw them away. Right. Oh, no, I'm not done with this. Sort of. Times 4. Christ, so I need 8 of these. Probably all of these that are in front of me, to be honest. These little square ones with the bike handles. 2, 4, 6, 8. So it's 4 of them. I have to build 4. They each take, so that is 8. Yeah, okay. A lot of flat blacks, which is a bit disturbing because I've not really seen any. All right, this is working. The Are They Hot game doesn't work with The Office, I don't think, because I feel it needs to be the woman has to be the main character, or classed as a main character for the game to really work. Is this a horrible game to play? I don't think so. I don't think so. Whereas in The Office, Pam would be sort of the closest one, and I would say that yes, she was hot. There's no real debate there, particularly early on. Or was she cute? Right, I built a lot of them without really looking. Oh, and they have these on the bottom. I like when it's quite a simple thing to build and there's no debate as to what can go where. So I built all those four without having to think too heavily about it. Normally means I'm going to mess it up now. So these now attach in some fashion. So, oh, they go on like this. Square on the end. Okay, so that's one. And that goes in there like that. Okay, that's kind of going in. Is it? Yes or no? You gonna go? You gonna go? He's gone. Okay. Pop that in there. Does that go like that? They didn't even show this one. It's just a vague. That's come off there now. I can't put it back on without. Nope, it's got to go on all at once. How'd I get the other one on without cocking it up? Because I put it in the right way. That's why. Yeah. Do you know what I'm really looking forward to at the minute? Monster Hunter World coming to PC. I love Monster Hunter. It's one of my favourite series. The bastards went and released World on. They said it was coming out on PC at some point and PS4 first. I thought, okay, I can wait for the PC one. And it's like 9 months later, which normally means, with Monster Hunter specifically, it will probably be, at the very least, like the definitive version of the game, have some extra stuff. It might even be like the ultimate version of the game, which Capcom often do. And at the very least, the fact that it's been released so late means it will probably be a good-ish port, won't it? You hope. One of these. So the game I'm most looking forward to at the minute. It's a long ways off, but I'm a patient man. I can wait for things. As I've already described, I'll wait a year at a time to watch any more of my favourite anime. Or even on top of that, I'll accidentally wait 2 years before watching any more RWBY. I'm not being really specific about any of the details of any of these things because it's so, I don't want to spoil it for anyone, to be honest. What am I doing? It's just brought these like 2 pieces in out of nowhere and hasn't really described what you're doing with them. It's throwing me off. That goes there in a short grey. Perfect. Okay. Then this all goes on top, but it's off center for some reason by 4. Nope, that doesn't work. Unless I've read it wrong. Does that work? 4? Yep, that does work. I was both right and wrong at the same time. An odd feeling, to be certain. And then one of these on here pointing that way. These little grey round ones with like the bigger end, they're always very exciting to use because the only time they're ever used is when you're building a place where eventually something will slot in, and then you'll push them the full way in. They're like half in at the minute, so you know you're building up to like slot in something good there. Right. Okay. So this now attaches onto here. What I love about building Lego stuff is it all just fits, he says, forcing it together. Like other model kits, there's a certain amount of, you know, if you get something like a millimetre wrong early on, it's going to come back to haunt you. But with Lego stuff, it just is. It's either right or it's wrong. There's no ambiguity to it. Except occasionally when it is ambiguous, which, you know, screw them when that happens, but it does happen. That's, you know, this is becoming a thing now at this point. I'm starting to realise quite how big this is, you know? I should really look up how, like, my next biggest set was the helicarrier, which, while big, was probably about a third the price, maybe half the price of this one, so logically it'd be half the size. What was that? That's nothing. Is it one over the edge? One over the edge. Okay. No, that goes off that way. There's a really weird sort of. Nope, that actually goes on the top of that one. That makes more sense now. There's a story the other day about our Middle of Earth Shadow of War. Is that they're taking out the microtransactions, or at least the loot box system. Just flat out turning it off. Fair enough, you know, I hate loot boxes as a concept. For the most part. I can understand it if you've got a free game, but other than that. And I was torn when they announced that, because I thought, oh good, because I haven't played it yet, and I'm looking forward to playing it, because I really like Shadow of Mordor. I was going to call it Shadow of Earth, but that was wrong. But I didn't want to get it when it was first out, because I thought, you know, if there's any jank to it, that'll ruin the experience. So I'll wait until 1 is completely finished, and 2, I can pick it up for cheap, because I'm an arsehole. Is that all the pieces there? Yeah, I think so. So when this news came out, I was in two minds. I thought, great, that means it will be a better experience when I finally come to play it. And another win for the patient gamer. This is wrong. Then on the other hand, I thought, damn it, if they're still supporting it, the odds of a tremendous sale have gone down somewhat. Something is not right. I have made an error somewhere. That overhangs by 4. That goes on there like that. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. It all works now. It wasn't lining up, and I couldn't tell why. I think I just put something on wrong the first time. Right. No, still need to put an L piece on this. But it goes this way. Yep. So whilst I'm greatly looking forward to Shadow of War eventually, I'm still not going to buy it yet. The joke of it is, I'm not hurting for money, and I'll spend dumb money oftentimes. But at the same time, I have a certain set of principles that just they keep me the right side of poor, you know, as in not. All right, a new page. Oh, exciting. Actually, some. No, I was wrong. I thought they were going to be something else. They're not. I thought I was going to be putting on the Ritz. No, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I was wrong. I put that in wrong already. Damn it. It looks like it's just some flourishes going in now. I don't actually know what this will look like when it's done. I haven't paid good attention to the box. I don't know like how, like if you can open it up particularly, what the innards look like, if it has any moving parts to it. It's all a genuine unknown. I'm looking for a grey pole. I've seen it. There it is. And this little hump. So this goes on the blue piece I put in earlier. All right, we're making use of the spanner I put in, and we've done it. And I don't know why it really exists. This is clearly going to be some kind of visible decoration later on, because at this stage it seems incredibly odd. Oh, I nearly missed out a huge piece here. 4 of these black clips. These little bad boys, these are the things that hold the Empire together. They're all the strength in a Lego set. Well, they're not the strength, they're just what they throw in there just to well, no, they do add strength. That's what they're for. There. It's by far and away the nerdiest thing I do. I sit in my office, talking to no one, building Lego. Actually, I already know I've got an even more tragic story than that. I was a couple of years ago, and I just finished uni. I was living at home, and I was watching a lot of Parks and Rec quite late at night, a bit louder than I realised. I came down one morning, and my dad said, "Oh, do you have some friends over last night?" I was like, "No, what are you talking about?" And he sort of said it in like a, oh yeah, we know you were trying to be sneaky, but you know it's fine, we don't care, sort of a fashion. And I was like, no, don't know what you're on about. Turned out, because I was watching Parks and Rec quite loudly, and in that show there's a character called Ben, and it's quite often for them to say the name Ben, which is obviously my name as well. He just assumed it was someone talking to me and I actually had friends, which a hilarious assumption to make. I almost wanted to let it slide, because that's, you know what, the lie is better than the truth here. It's better for everyone involved, but alas, I didn't. Yeah. A lot of clips going in makes me think we're not going to be seeing much of this, doing anything more to this stage, except putting in a false steering wheel, which looks like a vast amount of excitement. So we take this, we take a little blue clip, of which I'm slowly running out, pop that in the end there, take this steering wheel, which I've always wondered why that was in there, always, my whole life, and there we have a little steering column, inexplicable. I feel like the few bits of sort of creative flourish I've already put in here, that they're almost like a joke and they don't actually do anything at all. They just make this stage a little bit more fun for the idiot putting it together. Alright, to turn it round. Oh, some big bits going on. Not as big as I thought actually, they're relatively small. False alarm. Cool your excitement. 2 of them. 2 of them on there. And some flat greys that are 4 pieces long, light grey, ideally. Shit, where is it? Can't see them. They must not exist. I've been shut. No, they're over here. Good, very good. I can only assume if you're this deep into the video, you're hopefully doing something else productive, but not too productive. I would think laundry is ideal, cleaning up, something where you don't want to pay attention. You don't want it to be like something that requires any kind of attention, and you don't want it to be too entertaining as to distract you from the task, but also not so dull as to let your mind get to the task. Okay, it's shown me a picture of something that looks very complicated that I now have to build. And apparently this is done now and we're on something new. It looks a little bit like the framework for the ship from Guardians of the Galaxy 1, Ronin the Accuser, or a Curse's ship. Either way, it's a new dawn. Were I to want to start a new video, now would be the time. But the camera hasn't cut out, so that's my main concern at the point. I'm recording this in 4K, which takes up a tremendous amount of memory space. I've got my fucking memory card that I use for this camera. It's only a 64 gigabyte one. I've had it a little while now. The memory card itself is fine. It's an SD card. You may or may not be familiar with SD cards have a little switch on them which says lock. I've never come across a time when I've ever wanted to lock an SD card, but the switch is there nonetheless. It's also slightly unclear quite often as to which way is lock, because it normally just says lock, but then there's no arrow or anything. There'll be a symbol that almost makes sense, but not quite. So there's that on it. This such memory card, the lock switch has become loose, I think with age, because I take it in and out of the camera a lot is the issue, which is on me, honestly. I could probably come up with a better solution for it than that. I realised the other day that if I used a micro SD card and then an SD card adapter, I wouldn't have the issue, because it would be the SD card adapter that takes all the damage, and they're cheap to replace. They're basically free. So I'll do that eventually, but currently I'm living with this slightly dodgy memory card. So when I put it in the camera, 9 times out of 10, the act of doing that locks the card. And I can't tell until it's in the camera. And it's a minor annoyance that I have to deal with every now and again. Not that often, just every now and again. To the point where I should fix it, but I'm not, because I don't have to deal with it too much. Right. Is that right? Is that good? Yep. Does that feel? Yep. I mean, it's on paper, it's correct. That's as much as we can assume. So that goes in, not like that, but like that. And then this goes into match. Perfect. Look at that. That's already a thing. I'm gonna regret that if I leave that in there, aren't I? Pop it over there. It's sort of out of the way, but I can still reach it. Definitely gonna regret that. Okay, lots of bits going in. I need 4 of these. Good. Put them together like that. That'd been really cool if I could do that. I didn't. I messed up both. And any time saved by attempting it is now lost. Story of my life. So they go like this. Okay, and then I need some flats. 4 of these again. Put that together like that. That one there. Flush, yep, flush. Another one more. Right. 4 of the. Oh, good. We're going through this at a pace of knots now. It's really picking up the usage, isn't it? Right, so they go on there, along with another 4 of these. Feels slightly annoying that I have to clip 2 of these together, and that's the only real step. So they're facing outwards, space of 3. Yep, that's correct. And these go on the ends, like that. Yep, that's that. Then just throw that to the side and start afresh with a big old box section. Space of 2, and one of them. You know, I was just thinking the other day, I haven't seen in ages a super soaker, or like any kind of like water pistol. And I just had the sudden thought, I was like, maybe I'll go and buy like whatever the best water pistol there is whatever the top one you can get is. And just as a sudden thought, I was like, yeah, you know, I could afford it. I got no issue. I've got no use for it whatsoever, other than playing pranks on various work colleagues, which, to be fair, is a pretty good reason. Now that I've said it aloud, it kind of makes me want to do it more. Maybe I will. There's a piece missing, that's why it's not fitting together. That goes in there, that goes right in there, that goes on there. Behold, this is a thing. 2 of these, boom, like that. Yep, that works. Boom. And then, if all goes well, this just sits on top, lines up perfectly. The image it showed of the whole thing was like this, but like a square and much bigger. It's very complicated to look at as well. 2 of these and 2 spanners. Found those remarkably quickly. See, this is the bit I hadn't accounted for, is that when you are building it, the start of the bag always takes a lot longer than the end, because you start knowing where a lot of the pieces you need are. I hope. Spanners in the end. Spanners in the end. Got it. New series of Legion starts soon, I reckon. Which was a show that I started watching, and I kind of liked the first episode, and then for a few episodes I didn't particularly like it. But I don't give up on TV shows as a rule. I'll finish them. The only time I'll give up is between seasons. I might just stop caring. But that's a different story. Actually, during a show, it's very rarely I'll just stop, because I don't really value my time. I've just noticed there's a total space between those, so I shouldn't be pushing hard on them. I've also just noticed, even more disturbing fact, that I've just put these on here, and the instructions I'm on haven't told me to do that. So I missed out on putting them on, and if I missed that out, what else have I missed? Nothing else. Okay, it's fine. So why have I got these? I don't need those at all. I need 6 of these tubes, so. Yeah, so the new series of Legion, which I'm greatly anticipating watching in 6 weeks' time when every episode is out, because I don't like anyone but me dictating my schedule for things, particularly entertainment. Except films. I play by the rules on films. I see them at the cinema, ideally when they've just come out. I like to see a film as soon as it's come out. That way, if I really like it, I can see it in about 2 or 3 weeks' time for a second time. If you're lucky, films have a long run and you can do that. I remember seeing Jurassic World about 4 times. I'm not even sure it was that good, to be honest. I just like watching it. No, I liked it. It had dinosaurs in it. That's enough. They were going to make more Jurassic Worlds, but you know, the success of that may mean they make more dinosaur-based properties. A love of dinosaurs is why I like the King Kong film so much, the Peter Jackson one. And he said Percy Jackson. That would have been a different experience, wouldn't it? I remember at the time people saying that King Kong film wasn't that good, or it was way too long, which I didn't think was a thing at all. I thought it was the ideal length. I could easily see them recutting that into a mini-series. Probably a 3-part series would work fine. You got before they get to the island, when they're on the island, when it goes to shit on the island, and then when they get back. I know that's 4 parts, but, you know, allow me to adapt the process as I work. So this goes on here now. Is that done? I think that's done. We're already at page 40. Now, granted, we started about 20 pages in, but still, only 500 more to go, or 1/10 of the way. If we're 1/10 of the way there in pages, and I know there's 17 videos worth, does that mean this video is slightly longer than it should be? I can't work it out. It's still recording though, that's all that matters. It's my mic. Is my mic even on at all, actually? Yes. Okay. That's good. Back to the building. The bit that threw me off, I must say, is when I did start and it said plus these 26 pieces. That threw me for a loop. That was quite terrifying, in all honesty. Okay, this is really awkward to build because it's saying put this stud somewhere in the middle. Not exactly the middle. You have to count the pieces out. It may actually be in the middle. I don't think it was in the middle. It wasn't the middle. I can confirm it wasn't in the middle. So that goes there. What's this doing? Why have I got that? Is that meant to be there? Oh, there's no way of knowing now. Alright, and this leaves 4, goes the other way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, goes down like that. Saw the trailer for Jurassic World Lost. Is it Lost King? No, Fallen Kingdom. They wouldn't call it Lost Kingdom because it sounds like the Lost World. Or maybe it is called Lost Kingdom. It's some sort of kingdom that isn't going well. I reckon Fallen. It seems like the gist of it is there's dinosaurs, and on top of that, there's a volcanic eruption going on, which will look cool, granted. The trailer didn't really do much for me though, I must say. I'll still watch it 2 or 3 times, to say the least, but will I like it? That's another question. This page is certainly done. I can stop looking at it now. Okay. Oh, exciting. Just get to put this on here. And this on here. Right. That's good. Clipping it together. Along here. I'm pretty sure I now have to build like almost this entire thing again, but opposite. Oh, more clips going on. Right, upon turning this round, I realised I haven't put several pieces in. Oh no, I'm supposed to put them in now. That's fine. That's less alarming. They should highlight what's new in a picture. Actually, no, they shouldn't do that. They don't need to make it any easier than it already is. Something is out of alignment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that's... Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay, I've got to remove some pieces. Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Brick separator to the rescue. There we go. This was one up. That was one out. That could have been tragic if I'd have allowed myself to continue along that path. Is the other side? No, the other side's right. So I got distracted along the way somewhere, clearly. That one's on me. Nearly a huge error. Ah, you bastard. Get in there. Right. Now where are we at? I was distracted. No, I've still got to put in one more of these greys. Among other things. A clip. Actually got a lot of clips to put in, looking at this now. It goes in there. I like putting these in because they're purely for strength, so it means it's going to be strong, which is what I want. You don't want it falling apart when you got to move it. Particularly given that I know how heavy the damn thing is, in that I've felt it in the box unassembled. And yep, that's 4. Yep, okay. Next page. Continue on. Right. Two of these with pegs in all sides. Okay. Yeah, it's really satisfying to watch is those videos of things being assembled like Lego where it all falls into place. I like watching that. I could watch them all day. There's a TV show called Mega Structures, which is like an engineering, somewhat educational show about, you guessed it, mega structures. Mainly bridges. Lots of big bridges were popular. But it was just fun to watch. They'd show like the how it's intended to be built phase and what's supposed to happen. Because obviously in reality everything's covered in concrete and you can't really see it. Right, that felt too easy. It looks like it's in the correct locations though. Oh, I've got to do it again. Another 2 of these boxes. I'm running out of boxes. I look forward to these being added together at some point. That's going to be in its own. Yellow. First yellow of the game. And possibly the last, looking at these. No, I can see more yellow. Immediately saw more. Total lie. Bastard. I've just realised I haven't got my phone with me. In fact, I don't even know where it is. I've got no bearing on what time it is. I don't think I have to do anything today, but God help me if I do. There we are. Nope, not going in. It's the weirdest thing. I've got less dexterity with my left hand, but because I put all the small things on this side, I pick them up with my left hand, and as such, I put them in with my left hand. Either I'm training myself to be better, or I'm just making life harder on myself. All right. So there you go. I haven't put it. Let's reach across. Well, this is way easier. Why aren't I doing this to begin with? I'm intentionally making life harder for myself. Which was actually a joke principle in The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. A character deliberately, I think, broke their own arm so that they would overcompensate for their injury and work harder, was the idea. And apparently it was a thing that a lot of successful people would do just to be better. I've gone back to my old ways immediately. Right, so yep, that's correct. Put that to. In fact, no, it's now told me to stick that all to the side because you're building something entirely new now. The thought of this all coming together leaves me nothing short of semi. Erect. Good. Yep. Okay. Right. Put that like that. Whenever I pick up 2 pieces and just put them together, it reminds me strongly of in The Simpsons when Homer he buys the DIY barbecue pit and everything gets like coated in quick drying cement, so he just had to start building it really quickly, and he's just picking stuff up and putting it together and putting it down. It's a strong feeling I have. That goes like that. Yep. And these go on there, thusly. Okay, good, and it was good, yes. I'm drastically running out of space. I could put this on the bags. Nice. I feel really big now, really clever, like a proper adult. He says, playing with Lego. Is this playing with Lego at this stage? What is the playing with Lego stage? Surely it's... No, this is definitely it, isn't it? There's no getting away from it, is there? And then L-shaped block on there. Yep. And put the 2 together, and what do you get? I've put it on wrong. Idiot. Idiot boy. I'm in a real dilemma at the minute. One of my favourite TV shows / cartoons is Avatar, The Last Airbender. A name that is fine until you start talking about it around non-fans and you realise how weird it is just saying the word Bender constantly. And not just like Bender's my favourite character out of Futurama, which is fine. It's more like he was a great Bender, or he was an awful Bender, or, you know, I thought the bending in the last season was terrific. It's just, it feels wrong, you know? Like when you're in Spanish class and you're doing the colours and you get to black and you're like, I don't think so. Let's not take this one out of context. 3, 6. 3, 6. Okay. Good. Yeah, so the dilemma is that not long ago, in a bid to support things, I started buying the... I brought like the graphic novels in like hardbound edition, mainly because they compile like 3 or 4 of the issues into one decent volume, so it's the complete story at once, and also because it looks more adult. So I brought all them. I was like, yeah, I want more. So I thought I might as well buy the DVDs and the Blu-ray and that, because obviously I watched them on TV to start with, and then I had a pirate copy, which feels wrong. I thought I should actually spend some money on this. So I brought the whole DVD collection of Avatar and the Blu-rays of Korra, because I thought, why not? It wasn't as good, but fuck it, throw money at everything. I haven't even opened them, that's the thing. Like, I've got them, I'm not going to open them until I watch them, so they're unopened. And then I fucking find out that they're going to release Avatar on Blu-ray, and I'm like, well, for fuck's sake. There was like a big fan-made thing where they like rescanned all the episodes in some confusing fashion to make a high-definition version of the show, because it was only released in standard, and they did apparently a lot of work to get it to work. But it's really difficult to actually watch the damn thing, because no one wants to host it, so you have to mess around with codecs somehow. I couldn't ever be bothered to do it. And part of me is convinced that they've released the Blu-ray version purely because someone else has done the work. But either way, I'm going to buy it. And I'm probably not going to watch it. I'm just going to have it sat there taunting me. One day I will. In the same way that not long ago, I wanted to watch Mad Max Fury Road, which is a brilliant film, but I'd only really seen it. I saw it twice at the cinema, and that was it. I just suddenly fancied watching it again, as you do. There's nothing wrong with that. Something is wrong. I've got 2 of these in here, and there's only supposed to be 1. No, there is supposed to be 2. Okay, false alarm. Is that done? Yes. Yeah, so I brought Mad Max. I wanted Mad Max Fury Road. And I was on Amazon, and it was a case of like Fury Road on its own Blu-ray was, let's say, £10. The whole Mad Max collection, all 4 films, the quadrilogy, was, let's say, £11. It was honestly, it was something like that. It may have even been a case of it was cheaper to buy all 4 than it was just to buy 1. It was something ludicrous like that. So I was like, well, I have to buy all 4. And I've only ever actually seen Road Warrior. I'd not seen the first one, because apparently it's not that good anyway. And I hadn't seen Beyond Thunderdome, because I'd just seen Road Warrior, because it happened to be the one that always seemed to be on. So I got the collection. I watched the first one, Mad Max, which is a really weird film. It's the odd thing about Mad Max is, as you well know, it's like a post-apocalyptic wasteland. The first film is set certainly pre-apocalypse. That's the weirdest thing about it. It was an Australian produced film, and for whatever insane reason, they thought that American and therefore English audiences, by extension, wouldn't be able to understand native Australian as speaking Australian English or English. Ironically, it's easier for me to understand an Aussie than it is to understand an American quite often. But that's by the by. So they overdubbed all the voices, including Mel Gibson. which is really funny if you think about it, because they wouldn't do that now. It'd be weird if they did it for anyone now. So when I watched the Blu-ray, I watched it with the American dub, and it's just really weird. And then I discovered that if I'd have changed the options, I could have listened to it in the Australian, and I was like, well, that would have been far better. So I've ruined that for myself. The film itself is really weird. Very, very little action of any kind. Like the way he defeats like the big bad guy at the end is almost laughably tame. But if you want to know why his last name is Rockatansky, it's hard to say that. You got to watch it to find out. The long and short of it is, I watched that one, thought, yeah, it's all right. The very next night, hang on, getting thirsty. The very next night, I watched The Road Warrior, which I had seen before. I remember being good. And it was good, yeah, don't get me wrong. There's some scenes in it that I'd kind of forgotten as a child. The bit where a woman gets raped just before Max decides to save her, and then she dies, and later when he's comforting like her husband, he's like, that dying husband's like, did she suffer? And Max, instead of saying, well, she was raped to death, goes, no, she didn't suffer. Which is that a spoiler for the film? I don't know, maybe. It's an old film. Can't really spoil old films. There's these blue bits confusing me. So yeah, I watched Road Warrior again. I forgot one of the main characters is gay, like just openly gay. One of, like the main villain as well. They never make a thing of it. It's just a bit of movie history that would almost come up as trivia later on. Okay, yep. So that's fine. That goes on there. Good. Okay. Two little of these bad boys. The mistake I've made is that I put all the big bits near me and the small bits further away. It should be the other way around. I'll remember that. Probably won't, but I'll try. I'll endeavour to remember that in the future. So that goes there. 3, 4, 5, 6. So the long and short of it is, I still haven't watched Fury Road yet because I haven't found the time to watch Beyond Thunderdome. And this all started at least 6 months ago, honestly, as an endeavour. I'd say maybe a year ago. So by saving or possibly spending £1 extra in an attempt to watch Fury Road on Blu-ray, I still haven't watched it. I've watched through a few other films, and that's my life at this point. I don't even know if Beyond Thunderdome's any good. I do know that they often use the title in parodies of things because it's quite a good title. I'm thinking of Beyond Blunderdome, which is an episode of The Simpsons. I can't really remember what happens in the episode because I can't attach episode names of The Simpsons to what actually happens in them. But if you were to describe like 2 minutes of it, I could probably tell you the rest. Almost word for word in a sense. Am I missing something? No, it was just on the next page. I knew this obviously had to go on here, but I felt like it was telling me to do it, and I was just assuming it was going to tell me. Okay, right, that goes there. 2 more of these go in. They've opted not to flip the image, that's fine. I'll just have a rough idea of where you want them. Your gits. Okay. Yeah, so that goes above that one like every other time. And now the best bit, add it to the rest. Pretty clear where it's going to go upon looking. Yep, not like that though. Like that. Should probably make sure. Yeah, I was correct. Oh yes. Oh yes. Get in. Fit, you bastard. Okay, is that? Yep, that's a nice, good fit. Oh, right. Scanning it with my eyes, it appears to be symmetrical so far. There's a lot of bits left. There's still clearly a lot to go. I've got to put these 4 on somewhere. One goes here. I suspect the others go in similar positions. Yes, it does appear to be the case. That goes there. This one at the back goes here, and this one at the other. Why is? Okay. Okay, it's not symmetrical. That much I can confirm. There's a double wide grey bit here and a single wide here, and I'm wondering if that's correct. And it kind of looks correct, but it's slightly ambiguous on the diagram. Okay. Oh. All right. Add these together. Okay. Oh, right. Yep. So this goes on here. That goes on there, like that, and just right, let's push those in. Oh yes, that's satisfying. The only way I can achieve climax is by clipping these together. Does that go in like that? Yep. That also goes in. That one goes in. They go in. It's somewhat sturdy at this point, not overtly so though. Was that Minna? That one, those 2, those 4. That's it, yeah, okay, yep. So yeah, look at that. That's the Falcon. No. Not yet, at least. So let's position this roughly in the same way as they've got it on the picture, which is hard to do. Put it over there for now. I need 2 L shapes. Those 2 grey pegs, those 2, 4 grey squares, which is easier said than done at this point. There's some more. Right, and where do these even go? It's upside down for a start. That immediately makes it more difficult. Okay, so one goes here. Bring this in. I need to see what I'm at. Alright. One goes over here this way. These 4 basically go on the other side of where I put the 4 on top, but I can't see any of them. We're adding sturdiness at this point. As you know, the strongest shape in nature is, of course, a rhinoceros, obviously. No, it's a triangle, I'm pretty sure. I was quite happy with that joke. Rhinoceros is a suitably long animal. You have to have a long animal so you've got time to realise it's an animal as you're saying it. So elephant or hippopotamus. I feel rhinoceros is the best to say, though. So I'm happy with where that landed. So that goes here, and that goes in, and then that goes in as well. Okay, and yep, same on the other side. Right, that's not super complicated. I say that's not super complicated, and I immediately have messed it up. There we go. Didn't tell me to build the mirror, did it? I mean, it's not too much of an issue. Unpiecing together Lego is fine. See, the trouble is, I can just pick this up at the minute. Eventually, this will become too unwieldy to do that with. And then I'll be in trouble. Right, I need 6 clips. 5, 6. 1 grey. 2 browns. It's a pleasing brown colour, I will admit. Okay. let's just clip this bad boy together in about 8 different ways. I saw someone selling one of these used out of the like. So I don't know, would it have been disassembled or what? But I can't imagine having to break one of these down. It must be a pain in the arse. Particularly because to a certain amount you can just take it apart as you see it, but there'll be lots of bits that are like holding others. But then Lego itself is quite sturdy, so could you like shake it to bits? Because the individual pieces are unlikely to break. I'm not sure. I can't fathom taking a Lego set apart. There we go. Fuck. Very awkward angle to get in this at. It's hidden. Takes just a little bit too much force to do this. Come on. Get in. There we go. For reference, I'm filming this on International Carrot Day, which is 2 days after Easter Monday. I can see the logic of International Carrot Day being the day after Easter, a somewhat rabbit-based holiday, if ever there was one. So I put those 4 there. Oh, there's one more has to go in here. It's been very kind and just pointed to where the pieces go because this is so large and intricate at this point. These go here, I think. No, one goes there. Like, I wasn't even remotely correct. I guessed it all wrong. And then I've still got this one piece to there. Done. Right. My God. 3, 6, one of them. 2 of these. 2 of these. 2 of these. 4 of these. Wherever they are. Into the deep beige section. And where do they actually go though? Okay, assemble that to that. And I put that on the wrong way somehow. How is it even possible? So that goes on here. Yep, that worked. And then put that there. This up here. Okay. Here we go. Getting to add some big old strips of meat to this bad boy. Had an obscene lunch. I only got up at like 11. Had a late one. I was just thinking about what to do for breakfast / lunch / brunch, given the time I was at. My brother comes in and he goes, "Oh, I might go down the local burger bar. There's a burger van, a very good one, like a ridiculously good burger van." We don't fully know his story. We assume that he was a trained chef, and then I don't know, couldn't hack the cook life, whatever. So he started out on his own. But he's really good, and he does really good burgers. So I had bacon cheeseburger. You know, pretty like not standard, but standard plus. You know, cheeseburger standard, bacon's like it's one extra, isn't it? It's not. You're not like having, I don't know, eggplant and pineapple on there. It's nothing too weird. So that's done. But as he was making it, he goes, "Oh, lads, I've run out of buns. Is a baguette all right?" And obviously we said yes, because what we're just going to eat the burger on a plate like a madman. And somehow, from going in a bun and being like, you know, standard burger size, it went into a baguette that became about, you know, that long. Tiger baguette at that. It was really good, but I wasn't overly hungry, but I have this complex where you know, you give me food, I'll finish food. So I ate the whole damn thing. It was delicious, but it's left me somewhat lethargic for the rest of the day. I also had a bit of a thirst on, so I believe it may have damaged my throat somewhat. What the hell is this I'm building here? I like the fact that it's used up nearly all of these little pieces though. Right, okay, and this goes where you can't see at this end. But trust me, it's going, oh no, it's not going in there, but it will go in there. Ah, you bastard. There we go. Good. This is upside down. Fortunately, that made no difference, but that could have been a real issue. 4 more of these little clips. And they go in the front. Yep, in the front. At this point, it becomes an artistry of mime. You can just, I'll turn up the noises. It'll just be like weird ASMR, won't it? Just that noise a lot. I tell you, when you first discover ASMR, if you're into that sort of thing, it's like someone has described something you've kind of felt all your life by accident. You're like, oh, there's a name for that. Fantastic. And there's little practical application of that knowledge other than you can kind of find some videos that will make you fall asleep for some reason. But my brain's a real asshole about it, so I can only enjoy an accidental ASMR video if almost to the point where if in the video at the start they just say ASMR, my mind will be like, no, fuck that, you ain't gonna enjoy this. Turn it off, it's nonsense. I have to be lulled into it, tricked almost. Okay, so they went there, and these go in this one. I can tell this is like proper framework stuff in here, because the amount of clips and shit holding this all together, there's a lot of redundancy and a lot of strength is going into this. Right, so that's those 4. I need 8 of these. 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. 1 of these. 3 of these bad boys. Damn it, can't see another one. Yep, there it is. And that's it. So where do they go? This goes here. This goes here. Good. I actually put these on in the right order. If I'd have done the clips last, it would have been much, much harder. Oops. And then these 4, these 8 in fact, all go on this end nubbin. Why didn't it ask me to put these on earlier? I don't know. Would have been easier, certainly. Not that it's overly hard now, but it would have definitely been easier. I'll write in and ask them, shall I? Why is it on page 56 you made us put some pegs in that would have been much better placed on page 32? And they'll write back and say, well, it just didn't work. We tried it that way. We're smarter than you. Piss off. There's nothing greater than that when someone is like critiquing something they could never do. You get this a lot with video games. It's like, why didn't the developer just do this? Or, you know, I could do this in such and such time. And then the developer will chime in and say like, yeah, well, we did actually try it that way, but as it turns out, it made no difference and actually made it run worse on some machines. Fuck off. So just flexing their mental hard on at you. It's like, yeah, if you're so smart, go and build your own game. Which is why I try my best not to ever critique or insult someone on something that either I couldn't do better or I wouldn't want to do. And if everyone in life did that, we'd never have anything to talk about. That goes, and then a space of 3, and then that. But these go right in for a change. Well, that is exciting. This is substantially more time consuming than I thought it would be for some reason. I was not prepared for this sort of investment. I don't have that much water left for a start. I've completely run out of stories to tell. Completely run out of stories to tell. I could just start from what I said at the beginning, but that wouldn't help anyone. Maybe I should just read out Harry Potter as I do this. That would be an idea, wouldn't it? What am I doing here? Something's missing. It's these. Ah, now the phone's ringing. Who rings a landline these days? I don't ever even answer the damn thing. I think if you don't have my mobile number, you're not worth talking to. Or if you have both and you think that landline is the best option to call first, you're not worth talking to. You're living in the wrong century. I'll tell you what's an issue. It's because of all this stuff here. I can't move this page in front of me when I want to look at it. I could just fold it round, actually. Yep, I've solved my own problem almost immediately. I'm not going to do it, but the fact that I know a solution exists makes me happy. That's not right. That's one out. You idiot. Oh, you dick. That's a wanker. I put it in the wrong place, and then when I pulled it apart, it pulled out the pieces with it, so I have to put them all back in again. Granted, it was only 2, but still, it's a grievance. Are we ever going to get more of General Grievous? Because I watched Star Wars Clone Wars, in which General Grievous becomes a badass. That's specifically the mini-series between episodes 2 and 3 from, I want to say, Genji Tartovsky, something like that. Or I don't really know how to say his name. He made Samurai Jack. And I think Dexter's Laboratory, which, I mean, one doesn't really influence the other that much, does it? But they're the 2 he made. It had great action. It made the Jedi look awesome. Made the clone troopers look awesome as well. It was probably one of the best parts of the entire Star Wars prequels canon. I don't think it's canon anymore because the Clone Wars came out, and confusingly had the same name. But it is the best. It made General Grievous cool. And then after that, in the Clone Wars, the series that came after Episode 3 for God knows what reason, they sort of reined it back a bit. That did have some good stuff in there, to be fair. Never did watch the last few series of that. That's another one I need to go back and watch again. But if I'm going to do it, I'll go watch it from the start, which is a whole affair. And it was weirdly shown in England. For some reason, it wasn't shown on like a cartoon channel or the Disney Channel. Well, they weren't Disney at the time, so that makes sense. It was shown on the movie channel on a Saturday morning. Sky Movies is what it was. But then they'd show like Clone Wars in the morning, which was great because the way that channel was set up meant it had no adverts mid-program. It had adverts between films, but not during a film. So for some reason, that rule applied to the program, so you could watch the Clone Wars episode with no ads, which is a game changer at the time. This was pre-streaming technology, you see, or at least good streaming technology. Space of 3, that goes in there. Good. I can't see shit. I've not budgeted anywhere near enough space. Next time I do one of these, much more space. Right. What's confusing me is I'm holding these two things thinking they go together, but there is no actual empirical evidence of that. So I'm just going to put that to the side as well. And in fact, I'm just supposed to put this on here. That was really throwing me off because I was like, well, where does this connect? But I was actually holding two entirely different things. Okay, you wanna, yep. Yeah, so did Grievous ever get a more of a backstory? Because I remember one episode where I think they accidentally went to his planet, and there were signs that he was clearly like a great warrior and or general before he got turned into the kind of machine-y thing he is. 2, 3, 4. But I never really, I didn't stay around watching long enough to figure out if that ever actually went anywhere. And then he was kind of lame by episode 3. It was debatable why anyone really cared about him because they forgot they didn't really introduce him in a film. They just introduced him in the TV series, in which he was really cool, and then in the film he just spins lightsabers. There we go. Okay, so there's a space of 3, and then that goes in there. But no, it doesn't, because actually this thing is supposed to go on here first. You nearly caught me out, you bastards. And a space of 3, 1, 2, 3, and that goes in there. Another space of 3. Yep. Okay. All right. Back on what? So the next step is to attach this to this. I thought it was saying build this entirely again and attach it, or you should have 2 of these, but actually it's just this on this, and that's somewhat more acceptable. Okay, right, that's good. That's together. And now add some strengthening tubes to it. This is by far and away the most important part of the whole build process, is this bag, isn't it? This is the one with all the, you'll come to rely on this later stuff. And equally it makes for the most boring one. There's no, oh, it's a gun turret, or oh, it's actually a chair situation in this. It's, oh, rivets. Has to be done though. Has to be done. Cannot be tamed. What do you think that Lord of the Rings TV series is going to be? The one that sort of came out. I think Amazon have the rights to do it. I haven't actually really watched any Amazon TV series. I've seen bits of the Grand Tour, which I do like. I like Top Gear. I've never really gone full bore into that. It certainly has a budget, which is a good thing. It doesn't feel cheap like a lot of the Marvel Netflix feels cheap. Well, that's something we'll get onto in a minute. Actually, thank God I brought that up. That's an hour of chat right there. No, I'm trying to think. What else do Amazon make? They made The Preacher. I didn't watch that, but apparently that was good. Man in the High Castle. I think that was one of their real big budget ones. It had a lot of marketing, at least. I never watched it. It looked like Wolfenstein to me. I was like, well, I'd sooner just play Wolfenstein, because I still haven't played that. 4 of them, 1 of them, 4 of them. Yep, that actually helped me out immensely saying that. So I'm wondering will it just be... Because the thing is, the films are so good, and I can't imagine they can do anything better than the films did it, really. Because you had the extended edition, which added a lot of stuff in and was generally good. And even the theatrical releases were brilliant, really. I can only... unless it's not... Is it I think it is just Lord of the Rings based. It's not like the Silmarillion. I've got a feeling Christopher Tolkien, who I want to call C.R.R. Tolkien, even though I think he has the middle initials. I think he kind of didn't like the adaptions or something, so he refuses to give any more rights away than he already has. But I might be making it up. And to be honest, he might be short of money, is how these things often go. I know he refuses to like continue any of his dad's works. I think he is a writer. You can kind of understand it, can't you? It's like, you don't want to live in the shadow of your old man. He might have been a shitty dad. He might not have been. I'm just, you shouldn't try and get it right. Let's get that right out of the way. I need to be able to... Everything I wanted for this one thing here that I was building was underneath there. Right, so I built that. Now this attaches onto this. Don't know where. There? That looks right, actually. That is a weird attachment method, these macaroni ones. Final square piece. I'm definitely whittling it down a lot. So yeah, I look on with interest. To be honest, for Lord of the Rings, the only thing I'd happily watch would be a decently long cartoon series. Maybe a whole season per book, or maybe even more than that, to be honest. The only tricky thing is, like, you obviously know where it's going to go. Particularly now, because at least when the initial adaptations come out, I hadn't read Lord of the Rings. I'm sure a lot of people who watched it hadn't read Lord of the Rings. I know it was a big book and all, but I hadn't read it. I hadn't even heard of it, really. I was quite young and I wasn't a literary type. I do remember specifically I was interviewed on like the evening news, like local evening news. Actually, it probably wasn't that local, because I reckon I was in a big toy shop in London, Hamleys, I think. And they were interviewing, because at the time, I think Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, Sorcerer's Stone, for Americans, that film had just come out, and Lord of the Rings was just coming out, and it was like, you know, the race is on, which is better. And I remember at the time, it was like, in the interview, it was like, well, we haven't heard of Lord of the Rings at all, but Harry Potter's great. that was like the entire debate. At least I hope it was the news. I just heard a noise as though 1,000 rats were approaching me from behind, and then stopped when I noticed that noise, and I'm wondering if I'm dying. No, I'm sure it was fine. Oh yeah, Marvel Netflix. That was what I suddenly had inspiration to talk about. So I was fully up to date with them all. I watched them as they sort of came out. I watched. This is on upside down. It's fine. It's a small adjustment. I watched Iron Fist and was, like everyone else, quite disappointed by it. Mainly by how crappy the action was compared to anything else, really. The world's greatest martial artist, and they forgot to get anyone who could even look like they could do martial arts. So it lacked any kind of impact, really. So that wasn't great. But I was still looking forward to Defenders, because I thought, it's probably going to be fun. Team-ups are always pretty fun, in my opinion. It's normally the best part of anything, really. It's a big deal in comics. So I need 2 of these tubes and a kind of flat one with some flanges. Right. Yeah, so I watched the Defenders, and not good, is it? It's not bad, but it's definitely not good. I put something on wrong. Yep, this one. It starts off really strong. You know, you get to catch up with the Daredevil characters, which is good, because that was by far and away the best initial series, for me at least. It starts well there, and You get the Jessica Jones characters, and Jessica Jones was pretty good because they had a good villain, and I thought Jessica Jones was pretty fun. She was an alcoholic more than anything else, which is hilarious. Now what? Just set that to the side. And then you sort of catch up with Luke Cage and friends. And Luke Cage the series wasn't very good. Luke Cage the character was good. That's the trick there. Iron Fist the series not very good. Iron Fist the character not very good. Love the character in the comics, mind. And that's the annoying thing for me. I really like the comic character. How does this go in? Why can't you be more specific, you bastards? Must be this way. I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, so Luke Cage comes in. He was pretty cool. He was hanging out with the nurse character, the night nurse. She's cool. She's always pretty fun. And there's Misty Knight, who about halfway through the Luke Cage TV series, I remembered that in the comics, Misty Knight, the only defining features about her was 1, she was a cop. 2, she had a robotic arm. And she didn't try and be a superhero. I think she had a light on the robotic arm, and it was maybe strong. I don't know that she had any other real super functionality from it. She wasn't Cable by any respect. But there was that. So at some point I was thinking, probably gonna lose her arm. And then in Luke Cage, there's a bit where I think she gets stabbed, and there's a throwaway line of oh, if I hadn't got here sooner, you'd lose the arm, or any longer like that, and you'll lose the arm. And then she doesn't lose the arm, as it turns out. But then in Defenders, she very much loses the arm. It gets cut off by a ninja, I guess he was a ninja. If you're a member of the Hand, you're a ninja. That's how it works in my book. Right, let's pop that down there. It's finning. The stuff is finning, certainly. Luke Cage's characters come in. It's fine. Iron Fist. To be fair, Iron Fist, he had Colleen Wing, who I don't mind, and I quite like the fact that he's rich. Is at least a different one. The other 3, they're all a bit poor. Not super poor, but it's none of them have cars, for example. That's a good way of looking at it. When they need to get somewhere, they walk or take public transport. None of them have a car. That's sort of a good indicator. Daredevil's blind, so fair play. Now that I think about it, he probably shouldn't be driving. I've got this. Now what? This. Grey. Need a lot. Wait, what? Uh-oh. Ah. Look, it's the first grey piece that I fucked up. Come back to haunt me. Yeah, so they're all going about picking up sort of new jobs and new things to do, essentially. And eventually it's all going to lead together, and it does eventually. They all get together on the same job. Turns out they're all fighting the Hand, which is fair enough. The episode where they all meet and there's a big fight is great. Actually, it's really good. It's fun. See them all together. They're all sort of introduced slowly, which is really cool. Obviously, they don't know they've all got superpowers and stuff. Although prior to that, I think Luke Cage and Danny had met, but it's fine. It's cool. And then it flounders for about 3 episodes after that. There's a cool scene in a Chinese restaurant, which is pretty funny. Then after that, you think they're going to team up, and then it takes another 4 hours before they do really team up. So I've got this. Somehow they add together, but I don't really know how. I think it's just like this. Just straight up. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Oh, that was quite easy, actually. A lot of the pieces are easier to find. Okay, so take that, put that on top. Sorry about that. The memory card filled up on my camera. 64 gigabytes there, just full up. I need to get a bigger one, really. the price has come down. Now's the time to upgrade, but that was it, fully filled up. So I've swapped out to a 32GB one I had standing by, and hopefully that'll be enough to finish. Unfortunately, I've entirely forgotten where I was, possibly here. Set note there. Yep, there it was, I remember. So I put those 4 in, put that on, and now it's time to add this to this, like this. Yes, but I can confirm I put these in the wrong place. That would have been fairly annoying. Well, actually it wouldn't have made any difference. Oh, there's a little clip as well. Alright, so that's... Yep, right, okay. And now it's time to build one of these entirely again. So let's throw that to the side. Oh. Whoa. Right, so start with this and this. One of these maybe, and this cheeky little number. Put that there, and the grey, then the beige. Finally saw the trailer for the new Han Solo film. Yeah. That was a thing, wasn't it? Not really... I'll watch it still, because I watch all films regardless of really anything. So there's 4 pieces off the end of there, and this 4 piece that goes on here. But right, there's another black bit I haven't even considered. That's why that doesn't add up. Good. Good, good. It was good, yes. Okay. Okay, right, that's not, yep, is that gonna, okay. Good to know, that's, get on there, you bastard. Alright, gently now, gently, just, there we go. That's worked. I don't like to judge films based on trailers. Though there are many films I'll see a trailer of and think that none of that film looks appealing to me. Then I'll read a review and think, yes, my opinion was correct, or no, my opinion was wrong. I'll still often see the film though. I do a thing where I pay monthly for the cinema. I pay a set amount and can just go as many times as I want, which is fantastic if you're a fan of film. It's easy to really appreciate things, and you're more likely to see stuff you wouldn't normally see, which is good. It broadens the horizons. Is that correct? That's correct. One of these, one of those, and one little brown one hidden behind that bag. So this, okay, so that one, right, black goes there. Good. Grey goes there. Good, and then the brown one just goes on the end. Like nothing ever matters to it. Okay, right, that's confusing. Yep, put that on wrong, that's good to know. That hangs off by 2 and then 4 visible, so I've actually put that on wrong again. I knew I would. I was prepared for such an error. I'll tell you, another film I just remembered I watched was the film Blockers, right? Which I feel they wanted to call Cock Blockers, and may well be called Cock Blockers in America or in some other places where it's acceptable to call a film Cock Blockers. But clearly that's what they wanted to call it, and for some reason the best thing they could come up with was, well, just calling it Blockers, and then in like on posters and stuff you just put a cockerel or rooster on the poster, and that's like, or cheeky, it's actually called Cock Blockers thing, but it's just called Blockers, which I wasn't going to see because the trailers made it look like a very average comedy. But I've got no, I'll watch a comedy, but there wasn't anyone in it I particularly liked. John Cena's pretty good, but I don't think he's good enough to hold a movie. The other bird in it, she's quite funny again, but not good enough to hold a whole film over. But then I heard like numerous reviews saying that it was actually very funny. So I thought, okay, fine, I'll go and watch it. I'll make an effort, and it helped that initially the first weekend I was going to see it, there was only one showing, so it looked like it was gonna just disappear after that. And then suddenly it picked up and it got like more screenings. I thought, oh, maybe it is actually quite good and worth seeing. So I went and saw it, and I was wrong. It was entirely just a like fairly generic comedy. It's quite female centric, is what I will say. It was the best I could describe it would be it was like American Pie if it was women making the sex pact, and instead of making the pact as by the end of the year, and they make the pact in like Christmas, I think it was. That it's like, okay, we're gonna bang on prom night, and they make the pact the day of the prom or the day before prom. So that was sort of the general premise of it. And then for whatever reason, the parents find out and they're trying to stop it. And what was actually quite fun was that 3 parents find out, and actually only 2 of them are trying to stop it, and one of them is trying to stop them. He's like a double agent, which is quite novel and wasn't really ruined from the trailers. But then there weren't really many kind of jokes in it or funny bits or anything particularly. It was the best way I could describe it. It was a fun movie, but not a funny movie, Like, I didn't have a bad time watching it, but I wasn't really laughing out loud a lot. It wasn't a packed screening I was in, but that normally doesn't affect me. If anything, it makes it. I prefer an empty screen, and I would laugh uncomfortably loudly, and there'll be a couple next to me thinking, who's the weirdo, and why does he have to be here? Which is also the title of my autobiography. Who's this weirdo and why does he have to be here? Sad clown. Put that on there, good. I'm at the point where I can see a lot of these things being spares now. Which is code for, I'm going to speed up the process by making them spares. Okay, 4 more of these in fact. Good, the last 4 in fact. 8 of these clips. Just grab a handful, that's what I'll do. There was a whole character who, his whole shtick was, he was like a proper hipster. He had a man bun, but his whole thing was that he made his own alcohol, and he'd make his own like, edibles, I believe is the term. Drugs and that sort of thing. And the whole joke of it was that he was like a real like MasterChef style into it. Like he made I want to say LSD or weed based cookies, but it was like there's a bit of turmeric in there to balance it out, and the THC levels are higher, so it'll make you mellow. And I've also made a nice little raspberry reduction that's both fruity and fun, which I found quite funny. Not laugh out loud funny, but sort of funny. Like nice chuckle. I put these in the wrong place. These are both wrong. These have got to come out. Yep, they didn't come out either. But then, like, they'd all keep doing his drugs, but nothing would ever come of it. Like, no one was ever particularly stoned for very long, or there were no bad reactions to it, which it was just odd. It was one of those things. I was like, we're living in a culture where we're allowed to show youths doing the drugs and no real negative repercussions of it. I thought, yeah, that's certainly a sign of the times, if anything. Well, I don't do drugs, I don't see the point. Okay, so, yep, this goes Here? Ah, yep, here. Perfect, done. Look at that. That's, yeah. And you put it on the end of your trident, and thus you have a trident. Yeah. Actually, it does tell me just to put it on the end of this. Somehow. No, that's the other side. This makes a lot more sense suddenly. So this goes in here, right up to the edge, and boom, boom. Right, so they go in. These go in. These go in. Okay, good. I've realised I've pushed in two that haven't actually connected anything to anything. That's classic me. So I've jabbed in 6-ish. No. Okay. Yep. Okay, so that's done. Flip it over. We're on the home stretch of this endeavour, certainly. That. Looking like that. That goes in there. And put it on like that. Okay, yeah, that works. Close that in, boom, done. Same on the other side. Yes, there is one more L, please, thank God. Put that in. Yep. Right, there's two more supports. So only one of them, these three, and that's it. Now where do they go? One goes there, that much is clear, and okay, yeah, that's good. How many have I got? 3. One here, one here, and one here. Hope that's right. No way of knowing, honestly. I'm gonna guess that it's wrong. It feels wrong. That it feels more right the way I've just put it. I suspect I'll come to rue that decision. So put that over like that for now. Take this and 2 of these. Put them like that. And do it again. Because once is never enough, is it? They actually tried to call the film Cock Blockers. What was even weirder was that it was written by Seth Rogen, and there was easily a character for him in it, and it seemed odd that, you know, he didn't put himself in it, and he didn't put any of his sort of usual comedian friends in it, when easily they could have been. And in my mind it sort of says, well, they had a script, but they didn't think it was that great, so they sort of gave it, like, handed it away. I've actually got several more bits to put on like this. 4 of these, and 2, 4, 2 of these, and these 2 as well. No idea where they actually go though. So that's like that. It goes there. Yep, that seems feasible. Another one at this end, like that. I did that without looking. I hope it's correct. It feels correct. And then, oh, I see, yeah. I'm just guessing these positions now. I'm assuming it wants to be symmetrical, as all things in nature and life should. Otherwise you walk in a circle and die. Christ, how much more is there? This is the trouble, because it's such a big piece now, you need a whole page just to tell you to put like 4 bits in. The first scale piece it's given me. Right, so it's 2 blues and a black. 4? We'll do 4 of these. Fucking hell. Alright, let's stick that over there for now. Whilst we assemble the goods. Do you know what I thought was a really underrated film? Daddy's Home 2. I saw it. Really good Christmas film for a start. Set at Christmas without being too overtly Christmassy. It's a good balance to strike. So you could watch it at Christmas and not at Christmas equally. It was funny. You know, there's good bits in it. There's a lot of characters, so you know each could have a bit to do what they're good at. One joke that I found incredibly funny about a thermostat. I don't know why. It speaks to my sense of humour. So 4 of them. These 4 little white things with clips on that look kind of insect-like. And then they go, flip it. It's not going to be long before you just won't be able to flip it, isn't it? So these go black down, that's the important thing. In here, these are like ultra clips. They clip together 4 layers instead of two. Apparently this section wasn't strong enough. I'm guessing the others just go on the other side. I'm going to attempt to put them in blind, which almost immediately results in not going in. Yep, given up. I'm not even looking to see if this is the right place for them. I'm just kind of hoping. Will I come to regret this decision? Probably. No, I'm pretty sure that's correct. Okay, like that. And then these 4 clips go on top of where the other ones are. These actually feel like these are decorative at this point, and they're gonna serve a decorative value later on. No idea what that is. Not sure if it's true. But they've got there could be hinges actually. Right. So surely the next step is putting a lot of these pieces on. 4 of them. Good. 6 of these. What I've liked about this bag, no stickers as yet. 2 of them. 4 of these. And 4 of these. In many ways, just all the bits that were left. I don't know that these bits seem too big to be spare, so they're probably going to come in on the next page. Alright, let's stick that down again. I put all the pieces on top of the thing telling me where to put them. Not one of my brighter ideas. Okay, here we go. Starting from here, roughly. 4, that there. And take them off again because they're wrong. Put them there. That's a bit more right. These go here. Good. Space of 2, and these on. Good. Not a space of 2 on that side. There's no symmetry in these bits. That's what I'm learning. I should stop assuming as such. No? Wait. Yep. Okay. Right. Where does this one go? Nowhere, apparently. I'll come back to that. And then a flat one. And a long one. Get on there. Now the other side requires this. It's surprisingly hard to look at this because there's so much going on, and I'm not yet super comfortable with it as a concept. Lutheranism, very comfortable with that as a concept. Papal succession, I can get on board with that. Okay. I now realise where these last few pieces go. They go directly in the middle, like that. I'm not going to put them on properly yet, though, because I'm convinced I've got it wrong. Okay, and that goes on there. What this is doing now is this is building up a good sort of stable base, isn't it? A nice thing on which to build. All right. Oh, last page. What have I got? All the bits left that I should have. Hopefully, 5 of them, 1 of them, 2 of them. I'm pretty sure I do. Yep, I definitely do. Although no, this bit. This is spare, and this is not a spare looking bit. Fortunately, I can actually already see where it goes. It goes right here. And somehow I've just missed putting it in. Thank Christ for that. I see, that knowledge of that being a spare comes from having built a few of these sets and knowing the sort of thing they give you spare and what they don't. And I'm really ecstatic that I noticed now and not later on. I probably would have noticed now because the next bit to go in is right here. So, you know, I would have likely seen it, but I might not have. Okay, I definitely can't put this in like this. It's not happening. Won't be long before I won't be able to pick this up at all, man. Will it? It's already crazy. It's sturdy as fuck though. Like I don't have to pick this up in a special place particularly. Just the middle seems fine. Right. Now where does this go? This tiny flat piece. That goes in there for a start. Eventually. Yep, went in. No hassle. Pretty sure I put it in the wrong place though. Did I? Yep, no, wait, what? Okay, so I didn't put that in the wrong place, but I did put a piece in the wrong place earlier on, which is alarming because a lot of places I put in place were somewhat symmetrically placed. Oh god, I hope I haven't caused myself some issues there. I'm getting the Lego fear, the fear that I've cocked up. There's nothing you can do about it. Right, well, that was bag 1. Join me next time for bag 2. Thanks for watching.